Friday, March 10, 1989, was the day before the March long weekend. Air Ontario Flight 1363 was full when the F-28 prepared to leave Dryden for Winnipeg just before lunchtime. As heavy, wet snow began to fall, the jet was delayed so a small private plane could land. When Flight 1363 started to roll, snow on the wings turned to ice. The jet barely got off the runway. Instead of climbing, it stalled, went into the trees at the end of the runway, and plowed a path through the bush. There were 69 people on board, 65 passengers and 4 crew. The aircraft broke into 3 main pieces. While survivors struggled to get out, it began to burn. Airport and Dryden emergency crews were on site almost immediately, finding dazed and wounded passengers stumbling through the bush. Survivors began to arrive at the hospital in Dryden within the hour. Every doctor, every nurse, every staff member who could be called in rushed to the hospital to help. Survivors arrived by ambulance, by police cruiser, by helicopter, and in less than 6 hours, the hospital assessed and treated 47 survivors. By 6 p.m., extra hospital staff were going home. Shortly after 6, the crash site was closed. 22 people were still unaccounted for. The following morning at 6, CKDR in Dryden was brought into the site by police and emergency crews.
Well, there was a police presence, certainly, and when we walked in, I seem to recall the wings were ripped off the plane, and the fuselage was there, and there was a smell of jet fuel still in the air, and everyone was, of course, quite somber, because knowing what had happened and what was beside us in the plane.
In all, 24 people, 21 passengers and 3 crew died, including 2 who passed away in hospital. In time, the wreckage of Flight 1363 was removed, shipped by rail to southern Ontario, and the wreckage reassembled as part of a 2-year inquiry into the crash. Dryden Hospital and emergency workers were officially recognized for quick response to the tragedy. 30 years later, a memorial marker stands in the woods where Air Ontario Flight 1363 came to rest.